It's devlog time. This May 2020, I was really less productive because I was lacking inspiration and the thing I had to do weren't the funniest. But I did all I wanted to do this month and I'm really happy on how it came out. The first big chunk I had to face was localization, because it's a thing that needs to be implemented quickly before the project becomes too messy. But what is localization? It's the system used to display text in different languages depending on players' settings. There are two ways to handle it, modular or hard-coded. If you want to have people making custom translation, or just modify text or add language even once the game is launched on Steam, you want the modular approach. But if you ain't trusting players, you can just store the string of the text into a variable, making it really hard to change anything once the game is compiled. I chose the first approach, because if players want to play with a language I haven't made myself, they can just find the localization file and put it in the game's folder, or even send it to me, where I can verify it and put it directly into the game via a patch. I wanted the process to be simple as possible, so I looked for an easy format to use for storing strings. I chose JSON. The format used in a lot of stuff, because you can store things in a dictionary, and it's really easy to read/edit in a script or even just by hand. For the ones who don't know, dictionaries are the best, because they do one thing, but really well. A dictionary is a list of two entries, a key and a value. And the magic happens when you want to get a value. For example, if I want to get the string goat quickly, instead of looking for the value directly, I can just get it by telling the script what is the key, and it will return the value attached to it. Okay, it's nice and all, but it doesn't help us for a localization problem. Wrong, my friend. It helps us a lot. Look, if I have two dictionaries, but they have the same keys for their values, I can switch between them without any problem and get the word in two different languages. That's how it works. All JSON files I have for the game have the same number of items and key names, but the values are different. So I can get the string for the text elements on start and then apply them at runtime. For the coding part, I used a wonderful tutorial by the Unity's YouTube channel. Link in description if you want to learn a little bit more. Let's take a look at the next big iceberg. Unity's UI system. In 2 words, it's shit. It's not good. The problem with it is that the controller handling is buggy and the button and slider are not very versatile, which is a real downside for me because I want to be able to do whatever I want with button and stuff. That's why I decided to create a UI system from scratch, just using the simplest content of Unity's UI system like image display and text mesh pro. How does it work? On my canvas, I have 2 scripts, one for the button selection, animation and other stuff, and the other contains function called when the button is pressed. That means that I can put whatever I want in those functions, making the system very versatile. The button selection script is a little more complicated, but don't worry, I'll make it simple. The buttons are stored in an array of game objects, and I can access them by a number, an index. I have a variable who is called selectedIndex. When down is pressed on the keyboard, I subtract 1 from the selected index, but if it becomes less than 0, I set the selected index to the length of the list. It's almost the same thing with up. If I go beyond the number of buttons, I go back to 0. Then, when I press space, I send the current index to a function in another script. Then, launch the appropriate function of the button. I'm really happy on how the system came out, and I hope I won't have to change it in the future. The last but not least big thing I've done this month is the subtitle or voice line system. This one was really a pain to make it work, and it misses still a lot of functionalities, but I can at least start to put simple voice line triggers in my levels. To explain the system, I will use this example. The player walks into 3 voice line triggers. Each of them has 2 values: the string of the subtitle and the audio clip. The string is the key of a localization file. We send those values, a first function does some stuff with it, and then add it to the queue. And once it is his turn, the audio plays, the text is displayed, and voila, the magic is done. I need to add other parameters to the system, like priority settings that interrupt other lines, and things that trigger when a line is finished, or even lines that trigger after you did multiple things in a specified order. But that's a future me problem, so no worries. It's the end of the video. Like you saw, I've gone a lot more in depth about the code and programming logic in this episode. Tell me what you think of this new format in description, because I need to find a good balance between explaining stuff and also fun content, but it's by trying that we will figure it out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you Saturday 4th of July, and until next time, have a good day and bye!